recently someone asked if I think I would be able to make, great music using AI technology. And my response is that I believe I'll be able to make timeless music using artificial intelligence in my music creations.
Thanks, Om'Mas, for coming in. It's so great to have you in Cambridge here at Suno. And
wow.
We just love working with artists and producers, and I've been a big fan of your work for a long time. Some legendary people you've worked with and tracks you worked on.
After all this collaborating together.
I know.
And experimenting together.
Yeah.
It's good to finally come to Cambridge to see kind of where it all really kind of started, right?
Yeah. We'd love to hear a background for people who may not know you yet, but they should.
I'm a musician from Queens, New York City, Hollis, Queens. I'm a record producer, got some Grammys, some nice accolades, but most importantly, I think I've developed my own lane as a creative, being hopelessly original in an environment where things are arguably unoriginal. So my background is just about being myself and being true to myself and being true to my craft. Always using what was available to me to make art and to make music. Anything, whatever was available, obviously.
Yeah, that's been one of the most fun things about Suno is remix culture, where people can bring their musical ideas and then have people play with them, people mess around with them. You might hear something, you might hear a melody you had, put it on Suno, put it out there for the world, and someone else takes it and makes it something totally different than what you had in mind. And
we're having to deliver.
Yeah.
On a different level. There's a scale and a volume society is expecting now. And a way to achieve that level of volume and scaling, for me, has been to use AI in my music creation, in all aspects of it, in any way available to me. How do you want creatives like myself to play with Suno, not just to use it for work?
When I was walking around, actually this Harvard Square 15 years ago now, I remember just walking around humming melodies and just thinking to myself, what would that sound like as an orchestra? And then some of those I'd take and put into, Sibelius at the time and try to hear, okay, this is what it might sound like. But I think it's that wonder of you have an idea and you want to play around with that idea and you don't want the tools to get in the way of playing around with that idea. And I think one of the most fun things about playing with Suno in particular is that you can play around with ideas and the technology kind of gets out of your way. And it's just like a channel for you to play around with them. So for example, earlier this week, I was just riffing on a piano theme and I said, how would that sound as an in-film style? And it blew me away that I had to try a couple times and try out a bunch of styles. And as you said, you can hit every corner of a sound if you try hard enough. For me, I was looking at orchestral and cinematic and with there's some jazz chords in there and I wanted to see how it would do. And I think just being able to riff on an idea, I think is one of the most fun entry points into Suno. It's been amazing to see little ideas from Suno and then it comes to life, on the keys or somebody sings it. And I think that's a fun collaborative process to watch.
It's the glory.
Sure. Yeah.
And not too unlike sampling a record and interpreting over it as well.
Yeah.
It's just all levels of this.
Yeah.
In reading Herbie Hancock's book recently, they knew Herbie was at the forefront of technology and he was always invited to see emerging technology from music and technology and hardware manufacturers, right? He was always invited to see it early and to see what he would, what's there for you to use. And he was always jumping on it. Always the first, right? So, there's been this history of the greats being on it.
Yeah.
That's why this is
it's a way to find sounds.
It's a way to find sounds.
Yeah.
For me, though, it's really important that humans be involved. It's big for me.
That's why we worked on studio recently. One of the things I love seeing in studio is people will take 10 versions of a track across sonic universes, across country, and then they'll stem it out, grab samples, and then they'll combine them. Because you can get, basically if you have a melody or some changes or some chords that you like, and you can get a lot of interesting different sounds that match that, and then you're almost sampling from your own kind of prompts in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, what a great producer's tool.
Yeah.
You know, as producers, we want to get to the end product. We have to make something to be a producer.
And get it out there.
It's got to exist in physical form,
Yeah.
right? So where do you see Suno in 5 years?
We really want to be, I think, at the center, one of the amazing music creation platforms, one of the amazing music platforms. We want to be a big part of people's workflows if they want us to be a part of their workflow. Like if we fit into your creative process, we would love to be a part of that. And we just learning from artists and producers like you to see like what we should do and what are sorts of the things we should build and get out into the world. And I would love for a kid, you know, a future, you know, who's growing up now and, you know, who goes on, does an interview like this way later and be like, yeah, you know, I actually started on Suno on my phone. And, you know, I was just really inspired, and I just had a phone and an idea, and I recorded some stuff, and I brought my own process to it, and Suno helped me get my music out there in some way. So that's, you know, I wanted to capture that feeling and, you know, we'll have to figure out the exact details of how to get there. Yeah.
I was doing some prompting sessions early on in the year, and the prompts were coming out, and I had some of the baddest musicians, some of the greatest musicians that I could even imagine having around me. And we're all working together to interpret this stuff and see what we can come up with. And like, by the end of it, like some of the baddest cats in the game were like, wow, this is like challenging music.
Yeah.
So that was really cool for me, is to see cats go from like, grumpy, to wow, this is quite challenging. I never would have thought to put these two chords together or to modulate that way, this asymmetrical way or whatever it is. Like, you guys are spitting out advanced concepts that can still be interpreted by brilliant people to make incredible new stuff. I believe personally the niche of people who care so strongly about how stuff was made is so small. I'm really not tripping on them. I'm way past that. As someone who appreciates that aspect of music creation, it's something I appreciate. It's something that's my journey. That's what I've chosen to want to read credits and do all this stuff. It's what's made me a musician. But I think the rest of society is not tripping on that. They just want and continue to want artistic expressions. So, you know, we're going to keep giving them those artistic expressions, and I'm going to use whatever technology is available to me, including yours.
Yeah, amazing.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
It's an honor.
Yeah.